17 years I was in senior five, still doing uni. So that mismatch, huh? So in a world where you have access to internet and you can probably speak English fluently, I would suggest you have the bare minimum to become what you want to become this new era of life. Is it making sense? Yes. Sometimes people who talk or teach you about tech and things like that don't tell you the real facts. That it's not, ideal to just come and do a workshop here about how you can deploy a DAO, how can you, before knowing how applicable or how best must you harness the knowledge that is in the world to realign your incentive, to realign yourself to the demands of the market you're going towards to work in. Does it make sense? So, in as much as we're going to talk about the good things about tech and everything, get to understand that you need to match yourself with your skills to the demands of the what? Of the world. You need to understand that your market every day that goes by, if you learn a new skill today, check the job market. What are the descriptions available to suit this particular skill that you're matching yourself against? So that by the time, in case you see an ad on LinkedIn or Indeed or any other platform, you know how you weigh against the requirements of this particular job. Clear? So the idea of you studying and waiting for notes and reading content online and just keeping the books shut does not suffice anymore. We live in a whole new world. Uh, every day you see people going to Saudi Arabia, the Middle East, and everywhere because they want to work as house helps. I don't want you to be among those after having this degree. Where does it stem from? People are not thinking outside the box. Yeah. So when you put in your time to come and attend this particular workshop, I want you to be an envoy of change, an ambassador for good, and most importantly, an advocate for better teaching with that life. So for me, I want to understand. I want to take technology beyond that conventional means. Huh? By conventional means, I mean I learn a skill, good, go be perfect at it, get a good job and be good on my own, or be good, or live well, nicely. However, that would be good because if I make good money myself, if I make something unique and I become that popular person in whichever manner possible, it will be good for me. But ultimately, even if I build a good product and you people don't understand how it works, and I sell it to a particular company in the US for my own benefit, the people that would likely be my first market in Uganda here are left out. You realize? When you learn a few skills and you become good at building websites and applications, mobile applications, the first customers you have as a Ugandan citizen are the Ugandans themselves. Does it make sense? So you need to first make them aware that the product or service that I give is good, such that they become your primary market and then you scale going what? Going forward. Does it make sense? So as we are here, as you've heard or learned about so many things about blockchains and what any other technologies, take time to impart that knowledge onto someone in your community, whether it's school, because those people are your first market, go to market. Clear? Huh? And when you're to impart this knowledge, you should become so good at it that you become an authority over this knowledge. Clear? So that is how we develop as a country, that is how we develop as a people, that is how we grow. Clear? All right, so that was just to flip your mind to show you the other side of the world, how it works, because I always feel challenged when I get somewhere, I go somewhere and I find young people, like young people by young, I mean, for me, I'm 27. So if someone is 17 and they're teaching me a concept, I always ask myself, like, where was I at 17? Clear? So when I get there, I don't want to. So I come back and I see, or I say, I should awaken the people I talk to start thinking outside, to start thinking different. I hope it makes sense. So the technologies you grasp, please become good at them, become good noise makers online. Noise makers, I mean the professional noise, not talkers and people discussing things that are irrelevant in the market. Clear? So I told you the other time I was here that if you're training as a software engineer, if you're training as a computer scientist, if you're training as anyone, your online footprint will talk about you. I want to get to read about uh, person A or person B or person C. When they tell me I want to check their LinkedIn profile to tell me who they are. I want to check your GitHub to tell me who you are. Clear? Don't write your CV, send me your CV and then say you have to include the primary school in Zimbabwe. That is irrelevant who you are. Clear? What I want to know is who is this person? What can they do? What are they good at? And how do they fit in my growth spiral? Clear? So, as a conclusion to that kind of talk, I want you to challenge yourselves to publish, to write. And writing online, write about content, sensitive content or sensible content, on your LinkedIn pages, on your mediums. Use Medium. Do you know that trick? If you don't read, you cannot write. Are you aware? If you don't read, if you can't read, you can't write. So you should become good at, the research game and publish content so that by the time I read before they give you that job or before you become someone, like someone can read your mind online. Clear? Do you remember Desire Luzinda? Huh? Do you remember Desire Luzinda? Huh? Do you think I can look at her now and I don't see her naked? That's what I look at. Every time I see Desire Luzinda, for me, I look at her in the naked picture, like I see her naked. Do you remember Martha K? Huh? At least that is more recent. So that is your online footprint. Every time we look at you, that is who you are. So if I find your profile online and I see this person is writing about, setting up network stations and things like that, every time I find something like close to that, I remember, so and so does this, publishes about this, so they probably are an authority, they are an expert in this. Clear? So how do we know you? Because you get to be working with people who are from different parts of the world. How do they know about you? Your online footprint. Someone is in Brazil. How do they know that Elijah exists in Uganda? The moment they say I'm Elijah, they'll first look about you. When they look about you, what does it bring? If you don't have of course, you may not have a Wikipedia profile or page, but then Facebook will show up, Twitter will show up, or X or whatever. And if they have a very fake profile there, that's what we'll judge you for. I think he has a testimony. See? He has a testimony about that. Most you missed some opportunity because of. Uh-huh. If you go to embassies requesting for visas or whatever, they'll check your online profile because you write a good visa request later. Spiced. Clear? You'll have a very good recommendation letter from your employer or whoever recommends you. But when they check on the content you post online, that speaks more of volumes about you than what the recommendation letter has been mentioning. Clear? So don't joke with the online profiles. Be the model you want to be, the person you want to be, model them online. With the content you write, with the things you do. Clear? All right, so let's get into the gist of the day. The other time I was here for stagnant, and we talked about stagnant at school, but I want to keep an open kind of mind, um, and learn to compare things. Clear? In our world of Web3, for us, we are explorers. We are, how do you say it? We are tinkerers. We keep trying things. If I try this, where does this lead? If I do this, where does that lead? Where do I go with this? Where does this lead? Yeah, that is tinkering. So I want you to be explorative. Don't be static. Don't be biased, if I may say. So if you're talking about base today, I want you to be inquisitive about base. He has optimism. This gentleman has Zelo. The other day we talked about stagnant. The other day we shall talk about scroll. The other day we shall talk about particular ecosystem X, Y. So open up your mind. Be ready to learn. Clear? As I've told you, so many things can happen. Before you know it, things are in the opposite direction. All right. Uh-huh. So I left you. How many of you attended the other time, the last workshop we had here? Three? So who are first timers? Like your first time. Ah, okay. Where have you been always? Huh? Where have you been like? Why haven't you been attending at least once in a while before? We're university people, so don't feel challenged or what. Nobody's gonna punish you or what. So anyway, the thing is, if you're a starter, we shall give you some, starter resources, but I'm gonna take the assumption that the majority of the people know a bit or two about it. So who has heard about base before this section, before this workshop? Haven't you? Have you or haven't you? You've heard about it. And what do you know for that matter? What did you hear about it? Mm-hmm. Huh? Okay. The other thing I should remind you, develop curiosity. Actually, that's when you become readers, and that's when you become writers. Like, you should have curiosity. Like when you see something new, like, what is this? These days you have artificial intelligence at your fingertips. Clear? So you just write in, like, tell me more about this. You have even over WhatsApp. These days is Meta Llama 3. Huh? So it's not like it's far anymore. So just don't see something and let it be. Someone is wearing a base shirt, someone is wearing cello, someone is wearing this. What is this? Just that. And it will spit you information to, learn more. So don't say you've seen base and then someone. Please, dig more, get to understand. All right. So I don't want to repeat the details of what blockchains are and things like that. As I've said, those ones now you can tinker with your ChatGPT and the other frameworks. Do you use this thing? Do you use that? Huh? Please, I would urge you to sign up for this. The other one is Perplexity. Have you heard about it? Please integrate artificial intelligence in your learning, in your reading, in your revising, in your whatever. Because you cannot run away from artificial intelligence in this new era and age. Do you use that? Yes, yes. So sign up for an account and do that. This is for you if you want to do doing research, especially you can even before you write your LinkedIn, your whatever post, or whether it's on Medium or LinkedIn, you can write your content and you come and fill it in here. You tell it to refine it for you, write a better version of this content, giving extra context on particular matters like you know how to prompt? Yes. Huh? Uh-huh. The other one, I think is the easiest one, is that. Have you heard about that? Yes. Huh? All those tools are free, at least in the basic sense. You can opt for the other paid versions, but I feel if I have these three combined, even if I don't need a paid version of because I'm telling you, if you use this and the other combined, you don't need to pay the $20 for ChatGPT for clear. This is free knowledge, so and it is all accessible. As long as that's why I told you, as long as you can read English and you can access the internet, you can become whatever you want to become where. And people are creating themselves. Like nobody will teach you this in class. Has your lecturer taught you how to use this? Curiosity leads you here. Making sense? All right. So now that I've showed you these tools for a reason, by the way. So the basic questions that you want to ask about what blockchains are, now you can just pump it in here. That's the reason. Making sense? Uh-huh. So it can literally answer anything, but that's why I'm gonna tell you the technical things that you may not know how to query or prompt in this what. But over time, still you learn. Making sense? All right. So I want you to know some sites that are really good in case you want to understand your blockchain developer journey as a person, whether you want to do it in analytics, whether you want to do it in just data science or forensic science, plain development. So let me show you something. Yeah, I hope you've noted this down. If for these other ones, probably you need an account or something like sign up, or but it is still worth it. Not so? All right. So let's get back to base. Oh, sorry, I didn't give you the thing for the photos. What? Well, let's get back to base. Yeah. We all know. We all know. So you briefly understand if I mention something like an L1 or L2 and layer one chain. Yeah. Can we just prompt here and ask what an L2 is? What's an L2? Are you there? Huh? L2 stands for layer 2 in the context of blockchain and Web3 technologies. It refers to secondary frameworks or protocols built on top of the layer 1 to improve what? Key points about L2 solutions. I told you this, you should integrate this in your learning. Okay? Now it makes sense. Uh-huh. If you don't sound convinced, you can ask the same question. You can copy paste this question. Can copy this and we take it to perplexity here so that you can have a sense of comparison. I think two of them can't explain and you won't still understand. Huh? L2 refers to a secondary framework protocol built on top of a layer 1 blockchain. Primary purpose is to enhance scalability, efficiency, transaction speed, and underlying blockchain while maintaining security. Here's a detailed overview. or value in the context of what? So you can scroll down and read more about that. But then I would want to go with this other first one. So examples of layer 2 solutions: Ethereum Plasma, Bitcoin Lightning Network, optimistic rollup, CD Arbitrum, optimistic Ethereum, zero rollups. What? So when we talk about blockchains, in a nutshell, blockchains are these decentralized databases that are permanent. Clear? If I told you to go back to primary school and you request for the names of the people who studied in that first term of your primary five, what are the likelihoods or what is the chance? What is the odds you find that information the way it was? I started primary five in 2007. So if I say um, I go back to TVD primary school and I ask them, show me the people who attended term one, 2007, P5. What are the odds of getting that information the way it was? 2007 is 17 years ago. Not all? So what are the odds? What are the chances? Hmm. Huh? Come again? 4 or 5, how do you gauge? Just say high or low. It's just enough. The chances are low. Clear? Why? 17 years is a generation. So another class came, another class, another class, another class, another class. Probably the school got banned. Probably, clear? Or someone got lousy and they stole the documents, or they burnt them, or they mishandled them, or you know. So the likely, but is it useful? Is that data useful anyway? Huh? It is. If it is useful, then we must have a permanent mechanism of storing it for reference control. So for that matter, it is not ideal that we keep it in lousy, say, if I may say. Clear? So the purpose of having these permanent databases is that we can have a frame of reference as to when or what happened when. So in case you've seen politicians that kicked out of parliament because they never did senior six, have you? Because the minimum requirement is someone must have sat UACE to contest for parliament. And then after some time, they kick them out. But then this boy elected and then say, he doesn't have papers. So how would we confirm? Because the problem is someone keeps having a claim, but they cannot verify the claim. Say I did senior six, but then you can't verify that you did what? Senior six. So in situations like those, we need permanent data stores, which we can always point to as a frame of what? Reference. Is it making sense? So that is the minimum example I can give. So these blockchains um, are slow in nature, the basic ones. They are slow in nature. How? Because this is something that is keeping data permanently, and then data is accumulated every now and then. Huh? If it starts raining now, does the temperature of this room remain the same? What happens? Decreases. You see? Those are the changes in environments. And that's the data. That is new data now generated. So if you had this data, if you had a system to store data or temperature changes in this room every after 2 hours, and it rains in one particular part of the day, and we have to store this data for a year, of course it becomes bulky. Clear? So if you've used a phone and it has a ROM, you say ROM
Yes.
of 128 GB, how is the speed when you have this phone having 128 GB free to the speed when it is 120 GB full? What happened?
It was faster when there is enough vacant space.
So it is faster when it is new.
Yeah.
But as you load more data and content, as it approaches the upper limit of the bounds of storage, it gets done what? It gets slower. You understand? So that's how blockchains be. Or that's the principle. As you capture more data on chain, the overall performance does what? I'm building the idea as to why we need what? Otherwise, they told you they do what? Therefore, to increase what? Efficiency, scalability, and efficiency. This. So, this we've appreciated that blockchain store data permanently, and I've shown you that the more data you store, the less efficient the chain does what? Becomes. Clear? Bringing the need of an alternative what? Solution for scaling. To scale, what is to scale? Huh? Adding what? No, no, no more. Leave out, because by the way, the other thing is if you want to master this, tech and words, it is plain English. When you read a word, first translate it to normal English, then relate it to technology, you get the meaning. So what is scaling in English? Okay, now context matters also. So sometimes it is to measure, to find the scale for something. But now, in the context of, if you can say, how can you scale this? What does it mean? Like, how can you scale a business? So in that case, what does scaling mean? You are giving me 50% of the answer. What is to scale? Huh? Yes, that is to scale. Depending on circumstances, you are elastic. If there is a high demand, you can equip them, you can serve them. If the demand is, you see, those Wi-Fi's that you use, connections, the connectivities you use, they scale. If the many people accessing the network slows down because it has a definite kind of bandwidth. So if you are 100 people, it will divide all the bandwidth to 100 what? Gadgets. Clear? If we are 20, that same capacity is divided by what? Scaling. Clear? So if you add on 101, it will still further divide to add on the other one. 102, 110, 120, 200. That is scaling. So for that matter, what we call scaling in this case is as you have higher demand for a particular service at a core level, you can live up to the standard. So blockchains are finite systems. What is a finite system? Have you heard of something called a finite state machine? People told me I'm a computer scientist. Do you know what a finite state machine is? What is being finite?
Having an end, beginning and an end.
Okay, having a being and an end. But then something being finite is what? In just one word. Discrete, okay, particular. But then what is that one word? Fixed.
Yeah.
If something is finite, it is fixed. Clear? So a finite state machine is any object, any entity or subject that gives a particular set of inputs or a particular set of outputs for any given set of inputs. They are fixed outputs for any fixed inputs. If you say 5 plus 3 is 8, then 8 minus 5 plus 3. Standard. Making sense?
Yes.
So blockchains are finite state machines in that you only get one output for every input that you put. Making sense? So going back to the Wi-Fi example, if you say we are having 500 GB in bandwidth, even if you bring 1,000 people, even if you bring a million, for us we are capped at 500. Clear? So in case you want people to say you know what, my signal is weak when you're here, probably you'll bring a what?
Amplifier booster.
A booster. Clear? To boost the what? The signal, a repeater.
Yeah.
Huh? So in that case, repeaters or boosters compared to L2 what? Layer 2 networks. So the layer 2 of choice that we're going to discuss today is called the base network. So base, as you may have noticed here, does it indicate here? All right. So base. Okay, let us begin from the other angle I normally ignore. Have you heard of that company before?
Yes.
Huh? Okay, the newcomers excluded now. All right. So have you seen this before?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
What do you know about this now that you saw it before?
It's not going to
Uh-huh. Buying and selling crypto. Uh-huh. Any other answer? Right? That's a good one. Uh-huh.
This one is a chat in the price of the
Okay, it's okay. Now you're making observation, but I just want to have you heard of that? Like, all right. So I told you blockchains came to first. The first instance of blockchains was through Bitcoin, which came as a solution to the broken money problem. Clear? There are so many things about money that I don't want to talk about because it is something subjective. The other day I told you my reasons. Yeah, so I don't want to discuss that angle because money means different things to different people. Clear? If I give you 1,000,000 shillings and I give her 1,000,000 shillings as well, there is a very high chance, actually, there's no chance that you will spend that money the same way. He has a different set of needs and things to cater for equally. She so does it. So I don't want to talk about money. But the idea is this exchange, this is an exchange. An exchange is somewhere. What is an exchange? What is to exchange? I bring my cattle, you give me goods. Huh? One value, one thing for another.
yes.
Okay, so exchanges in this case, you bring your fiat money. I told you it came from the money angle, and then you take some form of cryptocurrencies. Now you can go and talk to these guys to explain for you. Clear? Okay. So let me talk about crypto now as an incentive layer for blockchains. So cryptocurrencies in our developer journey, in the tech way now, are incentives used to reward people who run blockchain networks. Clear? So the reward they get when they run, if you look at the structure of a blockchain, when you do the other mining thing on underground's worth, eh? Underground worth, I think you can check here. Let us do the demo. So if you go check under this to look at the blockchain structure and everything, I think we've done this before.
Yes.
Uh-huh. So if you go and start tinkering with this, trying to change some of these things, putting data here and making changes, all these mind buttons that you see in the background, they do some computation that takes energy, and there is a cost to it. So as a reward for getting the values of these hashes and everything, the reward they get is crypto, what you see, what we call cryptocurrencies here. So each of these, if you see Bitcoin, Ethereum, okay, Tether is some other case, it has a different case story to tell. Solana, XRP, Dogecoin, these are cryptocurrencies that are rewarded to the miners, the other miners you saw, huh? When they do the work, they are rewarded with this particular. I'm used to screen touch, gadgets, but it's okay. So that is my point for crypto now. Clear? So now you understand. So Coinbase, if you already notice, incubates the base L2. Because being an exchange, I'm going to take you through the history lecture here now. Being an exchange, can we have a list of all cryptocurrencies they list? I think it's here. Let's just scroll through. Uh-huh. So do you see all these listed currencies here?
Yes.
Huh? They say it's trade because for them it is business. And there are how many pages?
And from this,
So I want you to imagine an exchange works like a bank. You need to serve customers quickly and safely or securely. Not so? So if you have this network that you're servicing your customers with that is slow and getting boggy because it is getting overloaded, you realize you won't have so much time to, or you won't be in business, if I may say. So being open source, most of the blockchain stuff that you encounter is open source code. Do you know? So these people incubated their own layer 2 to scale up the efficiency of service to their what? Exchange. So that is how the base L2 was what? Was born. Anything base is purely Ethereum. That's why when you see any code that you can deploy on the Ethereum network can be deployed to what? To base. If you want to read more and know about the story, everything, actually, Coinbase is a very good site for a starter or any person, actually, even at all levels, not even just a starter, to do what? To do research. If you scroll down here, you see this footer. Huh? Of course, this is about the company. If you want to know about the company, digital asset disclosures, in case you want to know about how they're solving and everything, security investors, trace, what careers, individuals. If you want to learn about things that they do, buying and selling, and free crypto wallet, card, Coinbase One, business, the asset hub. If you are having investing as a company, as a developer, and do you notice something here?
yes, yes.
What do you see? Doesn't make sense. So, as a starter, if you want to know anything about blockchain, they always give you good primers. Huh? Learn Bitcoin halving, Ethereum merge, explore, Coinbase bytes, crypto basics. Yeah? Tips and tutorials, crypto glossary, market updates. What is Bitcoin? What is crypto? What is a blockchain? Huh? How to set up a crypto wallet? How to send crypto and what? So I throw the ball back to you again. Tinker, explore. Click this link. Where does this link? Read about it. Click this. What does this mean? What does this mean? Before you know it, you'll be in the game. Clear? So if you click, I think if you click, where did I see base? Somewhere, it will redirect you to the other page where we are. If I click this,
Yes.
isn't that where we were?
Yes.
But let's keep on we already have this. So getting back here, so we are saying basis for what? We are bringing the entire world on chain to unleash what? Increase economic freedom. So I quickly identify with systems that are libertarian. Hmm? By libertarian, I mean bringing equal opportunity to us. These people fund projects in all sectors of life that you know, be it in entertainment, sport, creators, artists, yeah? uh, anything you know. You must be in the information loop so that you're not left out. So if you can go and dig and start building things, building something, or looking at people's Explore apps, the bridge and everything, worldwide reach. So you see this fruit bag that I bought today
Yes.
is based around the what? So these people ran a campaign across what? All major parts of the world. So this was Southeast Asia, this is Latin America, this is India, and where? And Africa. What does that tell you? So it's a global thing. You see? The issue is you need to first be in the ecosystem to get to know. You realize this here? What is this?
This is where you want.
I think you should record this.
It's being recorded.
You're recording? Ah, all right. Okay, so basis for everyone in different languages. Base ni ya kila mtu, that is Swahili, basis for everyone. English, this is Arabic, this is Spanish, Esparatos, this is Chinese, Japanese, this is French. Anyway, who are the people to jump on this? So don't feel an outsider. Don't have this attitude of having technology as a thing for Americans. And this is Lumala, you're discussing blockchain, those things are for Europeans. No, jump in there.
Yeah, by the way, in addition to that, there's a company in here
Okay.
that was sponsored by Celo
Okay.
to start, implying that these companies, they're always sponsoring people who are building apps or technologies basing on on their system.
And now to tell it to you better, base is more welcoming than any other ecosystem. I'm telling you from a fact. And you are yet to see, because I've seen so many people coming from Uganda requesting for, and they are gonna get it. So just be that person. So if you say the base economy is made up of millions of people, thousands of builders, and UNRAMs in 190 plus what? 190 plus what? How many countries are in the world? Do you use worldometer? How many countries are in the world? Check. Ask your meta llama, your that what? Meta AI.
195.
So if someone is in 190 plus countries, how would you rate them?
Global.
Is making sense? So we are here as base, but then you the builders are the ones in hiding. So jump on the boat and then start building, start making things happen. Clear? Okay, so let us talk about the code thing now. I hope you appreciate this now. You understand?
Yes.
So Coinbase or any other person can start their own L2 because it's an open source stack. So there's something here you might have noticed. Built on the super chain. Did you see that? Did you see this?
Yeah. Built on the super chain.
Uh-huh. You recognize this?
Yes.
What? Optimism. So Optimism has an open source stack called the OP stack, where people can build custom L2s, particular for different industry demands or chains. Clear? So there are different rollups. So Base is an optimistic rollup. So being an optimistic rollup, you understand that the scaling approaches that different chains use differs. So Optimism uses what they call a challenge period, where people or where transactions are bundled in a single batch. When they're bundled in a single batch, what we call a roller, there is a time period set out for a challenge. In case you have a complaint, in case one of the operators has a complaint against one of the transactions in those batch, you say maybe in 2 weeks you must prove to us that this transaction is not what valid as claimed. If that challenge period passes by and you've not acted or you've not proven, then it is bundled in the what? In the chain. Making sense? What can we relate that in the normal to that in the normal day-to-day life? Uh-huh. It's like giving someone an ultimatum. You say in 48 hours, you must do ABC. And if you don't, I'm letting the money go. Or in case I'm giving you 2 days, in case you don't pay by then, I'm going to sell you another password. Clear? That is the contrast. That's the comparison. So, have you heard about on-chain identities? Huh? So, you realize when you open your MetaMask, you remember we talked about a wallet earlier? Huh? Even here there was an explanation for what is a wallet. Wallets, yeah? You can check it out. I told you the wallet is your gateway to the blockchain. The concept or the analogy was what you store safely in your wallet, but now putting assets on chain. Clear? So if you open this wallet, it has a long string of characters, beginning usually with, depending on the chain you are, but then the Ethereum system has the old addresses beginning with what? Hex. Hex is 0x, and then a long string of 40 characters that follows. So it can be complicated for you as a person to know those characters in order. Can you? You may, but it is hard.
Yes.
Huh? So yet that ID or yet that address is attached to you as a person. That is your address. Clear? If I want to send him money, I can send him to that address. If I fault on one digit, it is a different what? If that faulted digit is different, then it will flip. The money will go to a different person or entity also. Clear? So what they have decided to do is to create these base names. Clear? So you can build your base profile here. They're telling you to check here to explore. Build your own chain what? Identity. Questions for you. How do I get a base name? What are base names, registration fees, and everything? I'm a builder. How do I integrate base names to my app? How do I get a base name for my app? For what? For project. On-chain identity is a real problem. Talking about on-chain identity. Are your IDs valid anymore?
National,
Yes.
some of us.
I was somewhere, went to exchange money, they inquired my ID and it was expired. Clear? So you get to wonder, like, do we have expiring citizenship? So all of those things, those are the things you should create on-chain solutions for. Because if I'm David Lumala, I'll be David Lumala over time and over time and over time. There's no need to tell me, after 10 years, your ID is what? So identity in the online world is a problem, and Base has a very good identity solution using base names. So I want you to explore that and learn more about it. And then there are so many hackathons happening that you can go and experiment with base identities, base names. Say clear. So let us get into the take part of the discussion. Uh, I want you to cling onto this website properly because that's where you're gonna find most of the details. Resources for builders. There is an option here to build here. Get started blocks, learn, status page, block explorer, bug bounty, GitHub. The other time I told you for you to build a DApp, what do you need? The main critical elements you need. Remember this. A block explorer is that software you use to check to interact with your contracts that you deployed on chain. If I sent him money, that trail, how do I trace that trail of money changing hands or addresses? Explorer. Remember? You've used Etherscan before. So the block scan or block explorer is what you need to watch. So bug bounty is quick way to make money if you know how to hunt, but technical enough as well. GitHub, I told you everything is open source. Clear? You can even become a contributor on GitHub. Clear? To learn is to, explore. Then explore apps and bridge. Some of the apps that have been built already, and then the bridge. To bridge, we're living in a multi-chain world. If you remember this, if you saw this Coinbase page I showed you earlier, all these are different cryptocurrencies, and some of them live on different what? Chains. So if you know Hedera is a different chain, Internet Computer is a different chain, Aptos is a different chain, Litecoin is a different chain, Nearpop is a different chain. But I may want to do services. I can build an application on Base that has to deal with assets that are stored on different what? Chains. So what do I do? Huh? If you have two cities that you want to connect, but then they are separated by a river, what do you do?
Build a bridge.
That's the purpose of the bridge architecture you see here. Clear? So you can still explore and see how that works. Superchain bridges. Go to the superchain bridge to build your assets to and from. Clear? Are you taking pics? Okay. So you can check it out. What if I have a question to issue a problem? Anything. Clear? Then community. The kind of work I do here is called what? Advocacy. So if you mastered your art well and you also want to join me in the team, clear? But you must know what you're doing. So you can read more about grants. By the way, grants are cross-cutting. Calling base what? Why isn't this thing scrolling anymore? Builder grants. What is the review process? Grants review team is made up of builders of the base team. We find grants through Twitter for caster nomination submitted from the community in the form here. We then spend time testing, using, and what. So you realize that you're the only person holding yourself back? Huh? Socials, go to X, Farcaster, GitHub, Discord. This is slightly new. Do you know Farcaster? But it is like Twitter, but on chain. It's like Twitter, but it's on chain, and actually, it's deep into the base ecosystem as well. So that is where if you want any information about anything, that's your first go-to place. So let us check the building, the resources for builders. Essentials. There you stand. You have to create your own profile, claim a base name, and create your best what? To connect with other builders. Office hours, check out office hours in case you want to ask your questions live. I told you this is a global project. Clear? So office hours is like you go check out for someone's calendar and see when they're available, and you select a time when you can do what? Talk to them. Get involved, become an active participant in the base what? Community. I began by telling you what? Huh? I told you use your online what? Create online profiles. Become an active member in the base what? Where does that community reside? Huh? Online. Build your projects. Get funded. A collection of monetary programs to help you build and grow your what? Get noticed looking for help with distribution. Get noticed by millions of potential what? Where do you find those new users? Build your what? Resources that make it easy for you to build and use your own chain what? And I want to have 1 million people on chain by end of next year, 2025. Purely base. So fund your projects. Coinbase Smart Wallet. I told you, I explained the idea of a wallet already. Clear? So you pay gas fees. Remember, I told you gas fees are rewards for people who participate in validating that blocks on the wall. Remember when I explained that? So the applications that you build that will require high volumes of gas. Gas fees are fees. For base, you pay the gas fees. If you are deploying on mainnet, you are deploying using ETH. Like you're paying your gas because base doesn't have a native token. Like you see for Scroll, they have a Scroll token. For Starknet, they have Starknet or Celo for Celo. You have to pay. In case you are building, I showed you the testnet for base Sepolia sometime. So base Sepolia, in case you want testnet tokens that you can use to deploy your application on chain in the test environment. We say the test environment is testnet. Yeah. So you can go to a faucet. What's a faucet? Huh? English again. What's a faucet? You have to go to class. Yeah. Huh? And the clubbers don't know a faucet? Clubs will go to it. The faucet is it's like a tap, like keeps dripping. So if you go to these clubs and just open the tap for beer, that's a faucet. So in our case here, the faucet is where you can go is somewhere or a resource that can give you free testnet tokens. Clear? Just to try your application to mimic or to experiment with its operation on chain. Making sense? Okay. So that's the testnet. So in case you want anything that happens on the testnet, you can still go to, since you're using testnet tokens, what should the explorer be? A testnet explorer. Clear? So if you say connect your wallet here, do you have any of these? Accept the terms, of course. Do you have any of these?
On the PC.
Uh-huh.
On the PC.
Yeah.
No.
Because now you have to get the tokens in here if you were to get and see how those. But the faucets are many. This is a chain link page that is giving out what? Testnet tokens. So it has its native faucet. But then if you go back a page behind, you can go to Alchemy, you can go to Base Docs to find the real their recommended faucets. Clear? Any questions this far? Huh? I'm going to do the code now. We're going to the code. Has anyone of you programmed in Viper before? Huh?
Some a new language to some of us.
Viper.
Never heard of it.
All right. So smart contracts are the code that you deploy. Of course, you know that you deploy on chain. But I've realized lately that Viper, being a Pythonic language, is much easier for people to learn than Solidity. Solidity is the best language. If you go to DeFi Llama here, check out a site called DeFi Llama. I think it's a .com. So this DeFi Llama aggregates information across all major chains. Total value locked in a particular chain, read TVL, compare chains, airdrops, treasuries, oracles, forks. You can scroll and know. I told you to learn to tinker. Remember?
Yes.
This is the tinkering now. Uh-huh. So there's a section here for languages. Do you see this?
Yes.
Huh? So if you click languages, breakdown of smart contract what? Huh? Languages. What's the index? The index is we should check and see. Oh, when you touch in it, they tell you. Uh-huh. This is 2021. Let us go to 2024. So 2024, that is somewhere. What's up?
Yes.
All right. This is August 20 what? August 27. So we are comparing the breakdown for blockchain what? For smart contract languages. What is number one?
Solidity.
With what percentage?
90%.
What does it mean?
When high side demand.
Highly in demand, mature, tooling. So it's much easier to go to Stack Exchange or Stack Overflow and find a solution for it. In case you find a problem running with Solidity. Clear? So handing it over to you again. Then Rust is 6.9. Have you programmed in Rust before? But you should learn it. It's a good language. Then which other language?
Python.
Wherever Solidity does, Viper does what? So that's why I was telling you, has anyone programmed in Viper before? No. You can go and read about it still. If you ask, tell me about Viper, ask Perplexity. Let's go to Claude. This will take me so much time. Let me just ask Perplexity here. So tell me. Okay, let us write a more serious query. What is the Viper language? So this language is much easier to learn or simpler because it is Pythonic. It is like Python. So I normally recommend people struggling because Solidity sometimes is verbose. By verbose, I mean it's Java like you have to write so many things to do a simple task. But as you know, Python, if I want to print my name, just say print what? Just not even print F, it is print Lumala did it. And it will print it. Clear? So you can read more about Viper. I'm not saying Solidity is you should do a Solidity, but for contracts, both Solidity and Viper work. Though most companies use Solidity as a language, but still don't ignore Viper. They tell you Viper is a contract-oriented programming language specifically designed for writing what? On the what? Ethereum blockchain. I told you that whatever works on Ethereum works with Base because Base is an Ethereum what? L2. Clear? It was created to provide a simpler, more secure alternative to what? The dominant language for Ethereum what? Python-like syntax. Viper syntax is heavily influenced by Python, making it accessible to developers familiar with that language. This design choice emphasizes readability, simplicity, which are critical for auditing and understanding smart contract. Static typing, security focus. You can go and dig deeper. Clear? Use cases, token contracts, voting systems, decentralized applications. Clear? But as I've told you, we live in a diverse world. Always be open-minded and keep what? Keep learning. So I can tell this code to write Viper code for a simple staking what? Contract. Creating a simple smart contract, staking contract in Viper involves defining a contract where users can stake tokens and rewards and withdraw their staked what? Below is an example of a basic staking contract written in what? In Viper. By the way, if you read the name Viper, does it point you to what it belongs to?
Yeah, Python.
What is a Viper?
Swing.
It's a snake,
Yes.
a Gabon Viper. All right, so simple staking contract in Viper, declare a version of the Viper, final version 0.33. Viper.interface as import ERC20. Do you notice this syntax? You know something about this from this is importation in Python, the way you bring modules, external modules. Then contract, then state variables, that is what you declare. Areas that will be staked, total staked, mapping addresses to what? To tokens. So, and then an event to show in case it is public or in case it is it's successful or failed, transfer failed. Then an assert, clear? Now you recognize this. Method declaration, clear? Explanation of the code, imports and value. The code starts by specifying the version of Viper and importing here as a settlement interface for what? Token interactions. Constructor, events, withdraw function, balance function. Huh? I think AI just made it easier for you people now. Because what after writing this, getting a skeleton of the code, the structure of the code, the rest for you is what? To debug, like test and debug. Yeah?
Sometimes AI code is also having bugs actually. Even if you tell it to debug, it fails to debug it.
Try using this perplexity itself. Or in case you want more, that's when now you pay for the other advanced version. Is it making sense? So you can tell it write the same code in Solidity and see. Repeat the same code. In what? Uh-huh. One thing you should be critical about. Okay, this is boring because I'm used to the color syntax like red, green. So it's confusing. But it's okay. One thing you should notice about uh, all these smart contract languages is they all begin by defining the compiler version for which this code is going to be valid. Huh? Look at this pragma solidity 0. What? Greater. This current symbol is all versions beyond 0.80. So the current version of solidity I think is 0.828, I think. Solidity docs. Let's say solidity. So the latest is 0.828. So implying that this other gentleman that has 0.80 onward, so even the other implementations will be accounted for. Clear? And every they have likely builds, so these versions keep changing. So you need to have what they call breaking changes. If you click here, eh, there is a section for breaking changes, things that changed in the from the last build and things like that. So if you can check here, there's a section for breaking changes. You see? Advisory contents, future considerations, list of known bugs, version 0.5 breaking changes, version 0.6, version 0.7, version 0.8. So things that bring serious modifications on that at the language level. Making sense? Okay. So of course it is in different words. And this information is all freely available online. Have we paid for any site that I'm thinking of? So you see that it is you that has to take initiative, huh, to learn. And this Web3 space is welcoming. I think there's no technology that I've seen that is welcoming with builders like Web3. Because all different ecosystems want builders, all things can be built. We want everything to be put what? On chain. Remember the mantra that we saw that we are bringing the world on chain? Huh? Okay. This is the antivirus warning us. So let us go back to how do you set up a development environment for your dApps? What is your best audit editor that you use?
For development? Yes,
Hmm? VS Code for production. For if something is in a test environment, the best testing tool that you can use is remix.ide. Eh? At this stage in time, everyone must have used Remix. Have you all used the Remix before? Huh? Please tinker, play with stuff, break things and build, break and build. If I click this, what does it mean? What does it bring? Clear? So you have a test contract scripts and contracts folder here. Go open there and see owner.sol, bulb.sol. What's in there? Look at that stuff. Yeah? Now you see the declaration we had. What does this mean?
budgets.
Huh?
Budget.
What does this mean now? They even go to Remix AI. So you can just spend the whole night here playing with stuff, seeing where they need. Explain what is the security contract. Explain briefly the current file with the editor. So let us just click here. Let it explain this file. So this version is from 0.4.22 to 0. It implies that you can compile this code for all versions greater than or equal to this, and not above, or not actually, this one not included, because if it is less than, then it is above that limit. Huh? So they are telling you this is a solidity contract. You should widen this. So let it first explain.
Simple and content.
Yeah. So you see, does this code look familiar in someone? Okay, you can leave this assembly out because now this is beyond. You may not understand that so much. But is this code structure familiar? Hmm? Which language is similar to this? Huh? Let me first adjust. Is there a way I can adjust this? I think this is not adjustable. This Unity library named console that provides logging functions of various data types and everything. I think it's complicated for you for the starters. You should go and run that this remix add-on, the other two contracts that were here before. Remember this? So you should run that explanation to this. Of course, this is what does this do? Do you notice this green convention?
Yes.
Title of the contract storage? This is at dev. This is what anything that starts with an art is a what? Programming. Okay, it's an annotation, but in Swahili we call it an attribute. So an attribute to a developer, you're telling a developer that you are storing and retrieving a value in a what?
Value.
The title of the contract is storage. That's why when you see the declaration, the name contract name is what?
Storage.
So you're telling a developer, an attribute to the developer that this contract stores a number, is a function to store, This is a function to store.
Yes.
Taking in a U into 56,
And
given a name called number. It's a public number. And then I'm assigning the new number, the number in preset as a global variable. Then custom dev runs script and displays scripts. This is a custom developer. At custom is a notification that if you want to deploy the script, you run the scripts under deploy with it as the TS. You see this scripts folder here?
yes.
So in case you want to run it, that's where you go and you look for this script, deploy with it as TS. Are you there? So this is notifying the developer. So when you are writing Solidity contracts or smart contracts, you have to give clear details and proper documentation. Clear? That's why you see these attributes. So you are telling the developer that we are storing the value, this function, this is a comment. I hope you still remember that.
Yes.
So you are telling a developer that you are storing the value in the variable. That's why this function is called store. And then at param is what? This is an attribute that you expect a parameter called number. Param is parameter. And then this is the name given to the function, the variable taken in by a function.
Yes.
It's a parameter. We are assigning, there is a parameter called num to store the value that we're going to capture. Yeah? Then you're telling the developer that we are returning a value. At return is an attribute showing that we are returning the value of the number. Clear? Should we test it out? Should we? So, we're going to compile the code. Clear? If you get a green tick here, it is what? Bug free, compile. Clear? Or you are giving you telling you Control S. Clear? Did you notice this?
Yes.
Huh? You need to be so observant. What have you noticed?
Change in value as compared to the previous one, which had 0.4 something.
So this version, this contract is to be compiled between 0.8.8.2, but less than 0. What? 0.9. Did you notice this? Huh? They are telling you that the compiler version you are using is .826, but okay, these are different commits for GitHub references.
Yes, yes.
If you tick this box, I told you they're always breaking changes. Nightly builds, these are occur rapidly, like more changes will be made. But for the start, you may not even consider, talking about those. So we've compiled the contract. Now it's time to what? To execute. I want you to notice that every time you are deploying a contract in Solidity, you become any function you call. Once I deploy a contract, this contract goes to storage what? It's given a contract address. Remember, we are dealing with a virtual machine. Is there a page here? Since all of this was something. Let's use this. Is this green or black?
Yeah.
Okay. So I told you blockchain is structured like that. Remember the other website I showed you? Huh?
Oops.
So they are blocks. So for your code to be executed, there's something they call the EVM. The Ethereum virtual what? The Ethereum virtual machine. Clear? So the Ethereum virtual machine assigns two types of addresses. The user addresses, what they call EOS, externally owned addresses by you, the user, and then what? Contract what? Addresses. Anytime you deploy a contract, remember we compiled. Huh? So I'm going to deploy. You see, there is this block, it's empty because I've not deployed what? I've just compiled. So when I deploy to the EVM. And in this case, I'm deploying a contract, it will deploy, it will generate a contract what? That's what they're telling you. Load contract from address now because you have deployed. Isn't that making sense? This is the simplest place you'll go to. Remix will show you everything. I just want you just to observe. Clear? Are you with me? Okay. So we are going to deploy. I want you to notice. So for these two address types I've told you, a contract address and a user address. So the deploying person, me, the person who is deploying, this is my account. I told you Ethereum addresses begin with the hex what? Hex mantra, 0x, and then a 40 character string. Yeah. If you want, you can even click this to choose any. You can change. All of these accounts are given 100 Ether. What for again? Testing. So the cryptocurrency native on Ethereum blockchain is called what? Ether. Clear? So the other ETH symbol you saw at Coinbase. The ETH symbol that you saw, Ethereum, of course, this is what they cut off. The symbol is called ETH. The ETH is the ticker. Clear? Of course, you're not so much into the financial world. So it is, as we speak now, it costs 12 million. One unit of Ether is 12 million. It's two. Clear? All right. So let us not talk about the money. Let us focus on the development journey. So I can change this address. The address by default is 5B3 DXC4. So I can change that one. Let me go for the second one. Have you seen that it is changing? Clear? Huh? Do you see this? I explained that earlier, remember? Huh? So let us do what? We've compiled the contract. So this is the contract that is staged. Huh? So let us deploy. I want you to notice something here. Did you notice? Huh? What has happened here? Huh? So there is a deduction. Because if you check the other addresses, they are still full at 100 Ether. So when you execute this code, when you deploy it on chain, when you deploy it to find a slot in one of these blocks, some energy was consumed, and that energy is it was used, or that money that you paid rewards that who run these validator nodes that consult the chain. Is it making sense? Huh? Is it interesting? Is it boring you? It's interesting.
So, is it the same place as someone who buys expensive PCs and starts mining on blockchain?
Okay.
If the person has a big server system like outside.
Exactly.
And has
Exactly. Because now that is
200 computers, server systems.
So this money is what with. That is what they get in mining. These small differences. I expect a different question. What should I ask you? Have you noticed something different? Let me first enlarge this so that you can see this properly. I want to adjust this. Like this. Scroll down. So if you can read this, welcome to mix version that your files are stored in let's. So you've used 31.61 KB of 156 GB. Clear? When you compile your code in the EVM, there are slots I told you already. And this was, if you can go back here, let me just scroll this downward. This number, we declared it as a storage variable. Storage variables take direct space in the EVM. They are different from function parameters. Clear? But let us not that is so deep. Let us first keep it simple. So this is information you can use this terminal to do this. So when I deploy, look at this. This AB85CB2 VM from AB85CB2 to storage constructor, and then it what? They are telling you 06833 we data. And then transaction hash is this, the block hash is this. I hope you remember this. You can relate with this now. If you go to the block structure, the hashes and then the block numbers, the block hash, the transaction hash and then the block hash. This information is now what they are telling you here. Clear? Let us scroll just downward here. Because now, those are the statistics that explain what I was going to explain the other side. So, this is the contract address. I told you there are two types of what? So the contract address, if I want to execute the functions in this contract, I just take this. Making sense? So from this is my address. It ends with 5CB2, 5CB2. So this is the caller, the invoker of the contract. Clear? So anytime anytime I want to deal with my transaction, with this contract, I need to use my address and then the contract address. So I can change this, I can change this if I go here and change and then interact with the same address. So another thing I want you to notice. Transaction cost is what?
Almost 123,000 gas.
Execution cost is what?
4,700.
And the gas is 140 what?
141,000.
I want to go and research and get to understand why these are different. I tried to show you something here, but you didn't notice. There's a function that each function has a declaration for what?
Yes.
So the cumulative gas consumed by all the functions when you deploy is the total gas cost. What you say, you paid as gas fees for combined. That's why these numbers are different.
Now, can you explain the Unity 256? Because identify Unity is not a number. It's
Are you into 56 as a data type?
yeah, it's a data type.
It's a data type.
Okay. 256. Unity 256.
Oh, EVM.
But combine this
EVM.
String and number.
No. Number is just a variable name. It could have been X.
Yes, I'm talking about that unity 2556.
U into 56.
That unity, because unity most times is identified as null or as nothing.
Is this what you mean? Is this what you're talking about?
Why unity 256?
U int, not unit. It is an unsigned integer of 256 bits long.
Oh, okay. I see.
U int, it could be int.
Pointed, okay, fine.
Another question? Okay, so U int 256 is solidity, and the EVM does not deal with decimals. You cannot write 0.5. You cannot say 0.5. So the decimals are taken over by, say, you can write this 5 times 10, but then 10 power 8 maybe, but then divide by some number. So we don't have a direct mechanism for decimals. So that's why you find our integers are one exponents 18. Like 1 unit of ether is 10 power 18. The smallest unit of ether is weight. Have you noticed something like this? Making sense? So my question then becomes, we've paid this, even if we combine them, huh? Why is it like why are we having this number, huh, does not directly add up to this to get 100, yet we had 100? Why?
I think 100. Yeah, okay, we are basically getting no.
You get my question? The logic would be that 1 plus 5 is equal to 6. Therefore, 6 minus 1 would be. So if I say we had 100 initially, and then I subtract this, I will get this value. But why is it that these values seem not to add up to get 100? Huh? The numbers, they must add up. The issue is I would want someone to add up these numbers, and then to add up these numbers and then add the other number, and we see what you see. Okay, in a nutshell, to make it simple, realize that these numbers are just decimals, because the effect is on the far right.
Yes.
Implying that we're dealing with what?
Exponential.
Different units. Making sense?
Yeah.
It's like someone telling you 1 meter is equal to 1,000 watts millimeter. Is that a mathematics? 1 meter is 1,000 millimeters. Huh?
Yes.
Okay. And then you have this unit in 1 meter, and then they spend in what? The deductions they make are in millimeters, and they say we've taken away maybe 100 watts, 100 millimeters. So if the meter you had here, when you subtract now, the result will be, if you had, the answer will be 0.900, because it began like 1.
Yes.
Clear?
Yes.
These units are smaller than the initial one. Okay. If it is not making sense to you, let us say we had 100 meters, and we just put 100. When we put 100, when it is in meters, the equivalent value would be 100,000 in millimeters.
Yes.
So if I take off 100 millimeters, the calculation would be take 100 off here, and then you remain with 1. Oh no, it cannot be 1.
9.
Like it could be 9 here, and then another 9 and 9 and something.
9.
So what we did there is now we put the balance of 999 because we put 100. So that's why you see this value here as opposed to because now the decimals are on the other. When you put this other value, convert it. When you convert to the same units, the decimals will, these other values will add up and this is 0.9, and then when you add, you get back to 100. Does it make sense? Huh? Is it interesting or boring?
Interesting.
Okay, let us deploy. I wanted to, because as people who are doing this stuff, you need to understand. Don't just see things and look at them plainly. That's why I'm telling you, like, learn to be curious. Like, why are things happening like this? Find an explanation. Making sense? So let us go to deploy. Now you've had a picture. So if I click, if I click deploy, let me pull this down. I've clicked deploy twice. You noticed?
Yes.
We had first deployed, and then I deployed again. You realize that we came back. This is the first contract here. This is the second contract. So if I want to execute, what do I do? You load contract at address. You can copy this. This is a copy button. Paste it here, and then run the functions in that contract. We said the contract had a store function and a retrieve what? Remember? Huh? Oh, you've forgotten. Please be focused. Have you forgotten? I want to minimize this so that people can remember that we had a function to store and a function to retrieve the number. That's the contract we're dealing with. Making sense? So I've already deployed. I've told you can delete one of these instances now. Deployed contracts, you can delete maybe this, the last one. And so you can copy this and take it here. Control V and add restart. Clear? So click this and they will bring you back. To see the functions, you click this download button. Did you see what I did?
Yes.
Because this thing is minimized. Anyway, so let us delete one of these contracts. So let us click this button. It will show us the functions in the what?
Function.
Are you relating? Is it making sense? Are we on the right path? Huh? So the deployment you made will show you that this is a store function that you took in, and it expects a number of you what? You in 256. Clear? And then when you put in, it will give you the retrieve. So store the number in there. Number is 60. Clear? So when you click retrieve, when you put in the number, before you have the number, what happens? The retrieve button is inactive. So put in the number, say it's 60, and then click retrieve. Are you there?
Yes.
What happened?
Call the phone.
What happened?
The new statement. Call the phone.
I put in the number, but I hadn't transacted. A blockchain is a globally distributed shared transaction what? database. I put in the number 60, but I hadn't what? I put in the number 60, but I hadn't transacted. That's why you have this button here. So put in the number 60, click, transact, and then what? Invoking the function in the call. Like assigning, okay, like instantiating that existence of that function you've called. Like you say, I'll put in the number 60, let me bind it to that function. Clear? So now when I click retrieve, I get what? Making sense? So it works. So that's how you design your contracts. So to deploy, you see, this is a test environment. In case you want to deploy on chain, like you want to deploy on base, what do you do? Remember where I selected the compiler versions? Huh? Remember that? Huh? Where we we are using the remix virtual machine, but then with what? The Cancun. The Cancun. So this is the what the you know the way versions of Ethereum are named. Initially, they used to be after cities where DevCon has been held, but now they combine the city for DevCon and a name of a star. So you saw the last update in was it early in April this year? It was Denkun. Denkun DE is for Deneb star, and then Kun Cancun is a state in Mexico. Huh? Let's not get fancy about it, but that's the convention they follow. You've seen that sometimes I was remix London, remember? For earlier people, there was remix Berlin. Now those ones are getting what? Outphased because you see the changes keep happening quickly. So in case you want to deploy with your hard provider in a local environment of Foundry, you can select those. So the other frameworks that you can use is Foundry. So Remix is used in production. Remix is production is not so good for Remix because it is startup. Production is you create your own custom environment. Like you go to your Visual Studio Code, you put in the Solidity extensions, and then you use frameworks like Foundry or Hacks. But this is for if you want to do something on the fly, like dynamic testing and quick demonstrations, that's when you use Remix. It can also be used for the industrial app, but then it's not recommended because Remix is online, as in online where everyone can access. So in case you have sensitive things, remember you're dealing with money and assets, so you cannot just expose them. That's why we want custom environments for production. Does it make sense? Okay, I think uh, I should take some questions because I see people are getting tired. I should take some questions and then we wind up. So for deploying on base, you go to the base network here. I've told you use a testnet because in case you want to. So you can have this code, the remix code, and then you can take it into your own. Actually, that's the task that you should do. Take one of these remix contracts and then try deploying it on base mains. Or right, you can use the testnet. So you can go and look for the base network here. Can we search for network here? There's somewhere where I have to check for the network. Let me say slash network here. Let me just type in base RPC. Base network information. Exactly. So in case you want to go on chain with base, the chain ID is that, and then the currency symbol is ETH. Then you go deploy. So remember I told you the block explorer for scanning different happenings or things occurring with the chain. You can click here if you want to check it out. Total transactions have been done, last fee tracker, wallet addresses, daily transactions. So these are metrics to actually assess the chain itself, how it has been maturing over time. So transactions have occurred as late as 45 seconds ago. Different one. This is 161, 163, 168, 146. With a new block now, contract call failed, some like that, like 0.01 if 4193 transactions have come in. The latest tip was from L1 to L what? Yeah. So these are the tools that we should go and tinker with. Read more about them, learn to use them. And most importantly, I want you to become builders. All things on chain. Does it make sense? We want a million developers, a million. We want an on-chain economy, whether it's creators or artists or what. We want everyone on chain. Clear? Any questions as we wind up?
Something to be deployed now after reaching like after that where how do we use that information?
How do you use this information?
So you have an app already.
All right. So you go to your wallet because I told you have a wallet. You have to have a wallet. Wallets like MetaMask. You said a MetaMask, yeah. Set up MetaMask, yeah. Wallets like MetaMask have other pieces that are linked, like one for Ethereum, layer, and what? That's its own difference. So you add this basic information as customers, other pieces.
So I'm putting that on
You put it to MetaMask. Now you get base Sepolia to when you point your MetaMask to the base RPC. The default network will be Ethereum mainnet. So after you adding the custom network as base, you enable base as your default now. We are dealing with the testnet now. You going to base Sepolia. When you have tokens to that address to base Sepolia, now you can. Doesn't make sense.
so the wallet part is basically to get some token.
Of course, you cannot do it without a wallet. You can't do it without a wallet because the wallet is your gateway to the thing. So you write your code, everything, but you need to have a wallet because now the wallet is your endpoint, your route to the thing. Does it make sense?
So after getting the wallet, now you are in touch with that network. What
What's the next? After? Now we are in MetaMask. You have imported the network. Uh-huh. You equip, you put some test tokens. You go to basic project, you go to the house. You pick your address from the wallet, take it to the house, and they send you tokens. Because now those tokens are the ones that you would like to pay for the gas fees. On the testament. So in case you are going to deploy the mainnet, you need to have some basic ETH, and then you maintain the wallet pointing to the base network because now base is L2. You need to have some basic small ETH. Because remember, base doesn't have a native token like the other tokens. Huh? Are you done? There's a point.
Ah,
Use something simplistic. Use something simple. Don't complicate it.
okay.
And you can change it after that. Then it's done. So once you now you get asked to bring in RPC. Like you put the currency symbol, the network RPC, and then once you finish deploying, once you finish getting the tokens to getting some testing tokens, then you go. You're taking long.
I'm still looking for a proper password.
No, it doesn't have to be complicated. You just delete the entire extension and then you install one field it works for you. You need to have the words. They will tell you to give them in the order.
Yeah, I think I've bypassed that. Secure my wallet reminder.
Copy those words. Make sure nobody's looking, but then we are looking. So feel free to keep it bold.
Okay. Let me just put a new notepad here, just in case. Yeah, done.
Uh-huh.
These niggas are serious.
The whole group there.
Chess. Let me just do this. Is chess wine inside? Yeah,
Not the
chess
same
you.
one twice.
Yeah, chess you inside Grace Hostel, I think. Hotel. Hotel brain. Oh, it's done.
Confirm.
So done. Done. Yeah. So let me just get started. I don't have to buy.
You see? Now you set up a wallet.
Yeah.
Pointing to Ethereum MetaMask, Ethereum mainnet. So, the default, this is a linear. So you can add these other custom what? Networks. So add custom network. So go to this other side.
This.
Yes. Network. So copy this information, fill it in the other form. In case you want to, no, don't go for that now. Because we're going to use the test net. Go for the test token. Go for base portfolio. Go here.
Yeah.
Scroll down, take this information because the test net.
Yeah.
Portfolio. Yes, take this information now. Network name, go on. The way they want the description.
Okay, fine. Let me extract these guys. Yeah.
Like this, the match chain ID, like that.
Okay.
That's how you add in a custom network.
Then the URL, I'm going to take in this volia.base.io, IOGL, something like that. Sometimes there are pieces
Can what?
Is here the first for the name?
Now that depends on the other metrics, because if you go to chainlist.i-org, there are latency issues with chain IDs because these are endpoints. So some fluctuate over time and things like that. But then that's why I always want you to use the recommended one. This is the best website, so we recommend things to use those.
What's the current symbol?
ETH.
Ether. The ETH. This. And according to our records, the network name may not currently match this chain. Not currently.
Yes, you use this one, but just the name. Add the word business. So say.
Yeah.
So you see now you switch the mainnet.
Let me go to it.
Switch this to base Sepolia. You go this.
Yeah.
Now, anytime you launch any application, anything you are using, you're on the base Sepolia main testnet. In case you want to go to on-chain base the mainnet, you use the other platform, the other information that was the mainnet information. Clear? So go to the faucet now. So copy this address. Copy this address because when you go to the faucet, they will tell you to paste an address. Copy this address.
Which one?
This.
Okay.
This here.
Okay.
So go to.
Let me just bring back this one.
Where was the other browser that we're using? Where was the other window?
I'm just connecting them all together. Let me first remove this. Bring back this one here. This here. And this.
Where was one that we had for changing? Okay, just type in base faucets. Base Sepolia faucet. Just open a new window and say base Sepolia faucet.
This. This.
This is the one for changing. This one,
This one here.
This one, this where we are.
Because there are two selected. Base Sepolia 25. Which of the two?
Okay, go for this.
Yeah. So
Go for this. Click this. Click in it. Click in it. Just click in it. Hey, when you
continue.
Okay, then paste your address.
Yeah.
Connect. Oh, maybe we didn't even have to. Okay, connect MetaMask from there. This will pop up and then say connect.
Did get token?
I didn't get tokens.
Confirm.
Confirm.
Welcome to this and that. I confirm. Failed. Invalid account address provided.
Why is it? Huh? Refresh. Okay, leave them. Oh no, they give you both. You see, this is Chainlink. They give you 25 link and ETH. So leave them both selected. Continue.
Get token. Because I think that's our address, right?
But now, since we're using Chainlink, we need to have included a link in the addresses in the as a custom network in the MetaMask. You first continue because this is automatically selected. Then continue, get token and see. You must hold at least one link on the Ethereum mainnet to request native tokens.
The link you talked about?
The link is oh, now this is done to do away with the people who do spam networks.
Oh, you find
Okay, you can now find another faucet. Because now that is a condition that is used in hackathon mostly. So you go to you click change link the page, click back, and then you go for another faucet. When you see something nice,
so I get a new one?
yeah, no. Back. Yes, hopefully different. This one will tell you to sign up. You go to base itself. This one they'll tell you to first get so many things.
This?
Uh-huh. If it fails, you go to another one.
Documentation. Huh?
Select any. Unlimited to one claim per 24 hours. Okay, so click.
Accept to
I hope you have the address.
email.
Now you see the keep in front has conditions.
Okay, let me just put this.
Now
I
you see you
don't
have
have, I don't
to
have.
sign in Coinbase. Like go to another one. Like want something more direct. Oh, that's a
So what the next step? Now you have the facets there.
yeah?
Now we have the facets in the wallet.
You have the tokens from the faucet.
Yes. The tokens. What's the next step when you are deploying?
You opt for. You see this?
Wallet connect.
Usually it was if you're doing your environment, local environment, you want to deploy on your hard hat or what? Instead of using the Remix virtual machine, you opt for external HTTP provider like MetaMask. That's where you connect your. So if I go to HTTP provider, is this thing locked in? Locked in. Connect wallet. Then you select your MetaMask.
Then you first after connecting the wallet.
After your wallet, everything now is between this code and the wallet.
So now, yeah, connect the wallet. Now we can deploy the transaction to the data from
My
someone.
wallet. Have you got an inspiration? Huh? He was saying like how this is. I told you this Remix is for test environments. What if I want to deploy on chain, whether it is testnet or mainnet? I told him to get on chain, you need to have a wallet because that's your gateway. In the wallet, the network may not come in by default, may not be stated, may not be indicated by default. Like you did, we went through the other procedure of creating the what? A custom network in the wallet. Remember? So after getting that custom network in the wallet, we had to fund it with the what? With tokens from the faucet. Clear? After funding with the faucet, then we connect. You see, Remix uses a different interface. Now they have brought a new version. Initially, they just used to say injected provider. But now they have changed now. That's why I was also getting confused. Sometimes you can say click external provider, or but now Wallet Connect is always that connection service for uh, the different wallets. So if you say Wallet Connect, you see they bring Wallet Connect itself. If you can use a QR code, MetaMask, browser wallet like Phantom, Rabbit, Brave, or MetaMask itself, or Trust Wallet or any other. So you must have one of these, and then you just what? So when you say this connect, your pop-up will come for the other one in case you have the extension. So you connect. Eh? Clear? Uh-huh. So you see, is this why isn't this thing? Where is the other? So with Remix Native, you cannot deploy with base. It must be in your custom environment with your Visual Studio Code and everything.
So in Visual Studio Code, how do you
Visual Studio Code will just
what it-
well, it connects how?
I think Visual Code Studio just need some plugins.
Actually, even base here you can use it. Even here you can use base. Remember, they told you somewhere you can use your custom RPC's external provider. So you can go copy the other details about the base. This
Hmm.
does it make sense? Because this is the network now, the RPC. So if you can go to the other base website and click those, dig down those details, if you can ping the what, and then check, though it will be complicated. Clear? So I think that's it. If you have, unless if you have any other questions. Are you okay? Are you good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. Is it interesting? You should just go and explore now. Just click this. Where does this lead? Where does this lead? That's how you learn. And most importantly, become builders, because once we build up, there's a way the experiences will just come because you will be learning firsthand. So don't fear tinkering things, learn grow with the ecosystem. Clear?
Yes.
So where should we stand and take a group photo before we close? You don't have any other question?
How do they verify that the code has not changed? Now I'm deploying.
Ah,
How do they confirm that actually this is? How do they check to see that?
you talked about a block explorer, remember?
Okay, to see the actual code because on the block explorer you just see this code.
No. The block explorer has, if you take a different contract address, it has a, where was the block explorer?
I don't see the post.
If you put in a contract address in a block explorer, here. If you see this, paste in a what?
Okay.
Address, transaction hash, any of these. Remember in Remix we had those things when we deployed. There was a transaction hash, block hash, what. So if you paste in them there, especially for a contract address, they will give you information about that contract, the API, the function in it, and even its structure.
Even the source.
Yeah, the same way you can check. As long as it's, because remember this is a virtual machine, so they take express in bytecode, but then the lexicons can convert into the original code. So you can check it if you had pasted the code here, if you had the contract what? The contract address. Yeah, actually, even here, even if you let us just paste the other address for this MetaMask address here. Of course, this is a MetaMask address. Were we here?
No. First one.
So copy, paste it here. You can read about this address.
Serious.
It's newly created. They're telling you balance is zero what? Net worth is zero. Multi-chain, it is for different what? Being in MetaMask, it can support different chains. Gas used zero because it's a new wallet. Transactions none. Token transfers, they are not token transfer because it is new. Tokens, internal transactions none. From to parent transaction type, what none. Coin balance history because it's a new address.
For the contract address, they will also show you that.
No, for contract address, it will just tell you. Now this one just told you it is a plain address. This one they told you it's an address. Yes, the other one they will tell you it is a contract address. As long as it is deployed on what? On base, because this is a base explorer. Clear? The way it works with Etherscan is the same way it works here. If you deploy it on simple code on an Etherscan on an Ethereum testnet like Sepolia, plain Sepolia or Holeski, they will tell you. Or you can just go to let's take this address. So this is block scout. This was the base. So let us take that same address to Etherscan, the one for Ethereum, because being an L2, it must see, or the Etherscan address, the Etherscan block explorer must see addresses even on the L2s. So let us go to Etherscan here. Let us just use Etherscan and take that very address. Ether. You see? It is block scan, multi-chain what? So where's the other address? It's just lost just like that. So with Etherscan is here. Search. You see? Remember in the address that in the wallet we're not pointing to Ethereum. In the wallet we're not pointing to Ethereum. We're on base Sepolia. So they are telling you it's a multi-chain portfolio. Clear? Transactions, transaction hash, token transfers, none. If you click there, it's empty. Clear? There are no matching what? Entries. Funded not applicable, like because it's an entirely new what? So I want to challenge you, go and deploy something and then scan that address or the contract address or even your address. Can we take some, because you would get just some. We'll just get some files to send in what?
You can even see the passage.
Yeah, if a faucet sent in tokens, we would see it.
On the Explorer.
Yes. Then if it is testnet, Etherscan is mainnet. So if you want to go for the testnet option, you see, you say testnet.etherscan.io, because It cannot be the same. The testnet is different from mainnet. So even the block explorers must be different. So if it is a busy address, let me copy my address to show you something. Let me copy my address. Let me just send you get my MetaMask address quickly. And then we use it to, what's here? How do I get my address to this? Yes. Send it via WhatsApp. Okay, let me check my Binance address. Are you on Telegram?
Yes.
Okay. Let me send you this address. Why is this thing taking so long? Are you having internet here? Yes. Thing is taking so long unexpectedly.